He's a great guy. We're delighted to have him here with us today. Please like to show your appreciation for Alex Wilson.
Thank you, conference, for that warm welcome, and thank you, Paul, for your very generous introduction. And the last time that I was here in Manchester was also for a political conference, back in 2017, when Theresa May was the Prime Minister. Does anyone remember her? It was the conference where a prankster tried to give her a P45, and the background staging started collapsing all around her, a perfect metaphor for her disastrous election campaign only a few months earlier. It was the time of the fractured Remain Parliament that tried its hardest to thwart the result of our hard-won referendum victory. Back in 2017, I really thought the political leadership of our country simply could not get any worse. How wrong I was. The last year and a half has been a disaster for this country, yet no party in Parliament has had the gumption to do their job and challenge the most staggering and disproportionate assault on individual liberty in our history. Future generations are being saddled with impossible levels of debt. We're facing the highest tax burden since the war, and now the spectre of rising inflation has returned, meaning a cost of living crisis for millions of hard-working people. The Conservatives can no longer be trusted on the economy. Labour cares more about woke people than they do about working people. And as for the Liberal Democrats, well, they've been neither liberal nor democratic for years. So that's why we're here, to give a real alternative and a better offer to this country. Launching a new political party from scratch, which is effectively what we've done, is a monumental challenge at the best of times, let alone during a global pandemic. But we've had some remarkable successes this year and a real platform to build for the future. In London, we faced the crucial elections for the London Assembly. So we recruited a full slate of candidates to contest every seat, and we were the only party to do so apart from those already established on the Assembly. The quality and breadth of experience of our candidates was outstanding. Candidates with successful careers in large and small businesses. Candidates who'd spent years working in public service, in health, in education, policing, and social care. Candidates with a mix of political campaign experience across a range of parties. And some candidates who'd never been involved in frontline politics before, but wanted to get on board now because, quite simply, enough was enough. So I'm delighted that so many of our London candidates are here today, and that most have already applied to become parliamentary candidates as well. Because as we went through that campaign, we quickly learned we weren't just political candidates, we weren't even just colleagues. We became good friends, and the core team we've built gives us that tremendous platform, that foundation for the next challenges that we face. None of us are career politicians. We're in the wrong party for that. We did what we did, and we're going to do what we're going to do, because despite our different backgrounds, we all share an irrepressible belief in freedom. Freedom to work, freedom to play, freedom to travel, and above all, freedom to enjoy our great city. Before I say too much more, I thought you'd like to hear from two of our candidates. So as a stalwart of the Brexit cause for many years and twice parliamentary candidate, Roger Gravitt will be well known to some of you already. So Roger, if you'd like to join the stage and just say a few words about what we can take from those previous triumphs as we now move forward as Reform UK.
Good afternoon, conference. I've actually been asked to come up here for one reason and one reason only, because it's sleepy time, to wake you lot up. Now, for me to be successful, could I ask everyone in the room to raise their left arm and give the person next to them a sharp dig in the ribs, just to make sure I'm not wasting my breath up here, okay? Now, I'm London Regional Organiser, and I'm proud to be so, having been the same job for UKIP and the Brexit Party. And you people remind me of the people I met 10 years ago who were starting off in politics, and they've just grown fed up, as Alex has been saying, and other people, with everything that's going on in their great country, and giving it away instead of giving it to the people that work and pay and make this country what it is. So I'm not allowed to speak for more than 90 seconds, so I'm probably time up. But I'm going to tell a little fairy tale. Once upon a time, in a kingdom a bit like ours today, there was a country governed by Cameron and Osborne. I don't know if any of you remember it. It was governed by them, but it was actually run by unelected, faceless bureaucrats in foreign countries. And people like you, and yourselves probably, are the ones that made the difference. We woke up the silenced people, the silenced majority of this country, got them on the streets by doing hard work, market stalls, canvassing, leaflets, talking. As Richard said earlier, we've got to talk to family, we've got to talk to friends, workmates. And look what happened. There were some massive successes that got us where we are today. Well, you people now are the ones that have got to take up that mantle. You have got to be the ones that go out there and walk and talk and promote Reform UK. What we want is reform. What the country needs is reform. And what, under the guidance of Richard and David, what we will give the people of this country is the reform that they want. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Roger. Then, Mark, could you join us as well, please? Mark Simpson, this was his first time standing in a parliamentary or a devolved assembly election. Mark, how did you find the experience, and how has it inspired you for the future?
Well, firstly, thank you, Alex. And I have Alex to thank for selecting me to stand. I was a candidate in Barnet and Camden, and really why I stood was because I felt there was no one else to vote for. You know, I'm sure many of you feel the same. The choice in London, there was no choice effectively for me. So that's why I stood, to give people the choice. I don't have long, but what I do want to share is one of my main takeaways came a couple of days after the results came in. Paul touched on it in his opening. It was a difficult set of elections for us, especially potentially in London, because London's, perhaps we can say, not the easiest territory. But anyway, I was, on Twitter, very, very proud in Barnet and Camden. There were 107 people that voted for me. The trolls online came out and said, well, that's only 3%. But no, that's not how I saw it. I saw that as 4,107 people that had a choice that otherwise they wouldn't have had. So if you look in this room, I don't know how many, there's a few hundred in here. If you can try and visualize 4,000 people, that's a lot of voters. And 3% in the beginning, that's a perfect way to start. We've got to start somewhere. That was the foundations. So thank you, Alex. Thank you for selecting me. And once again, thank you to all the people in Barnet and Camden, all 4,107 of them. And I suppose what I want to say is, for you guys, when we stand, of course there's going to be more disappointments. But you've got to think, and you've got to be really appreciative of all the people that do come out and vote. Because it's all about giving these people choice that they wouldn't otherwise have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. So at the outset of the campaign, we set out a distinctive policy agenda that applied our core values to the real issues that Londoners face on a daily basis. We promised an end to the war on the motorist by scrapping the nonsensical low-traffic neighbourhood schemes that have blighted so many London boroughs, as well as Sadiq Khan's ULEZ extension, a divisive and discriminatory tax that hits those who can least afford it. We campaigned to reopen London's economy, culture and nightlife, promoting a business-led recovery, and we're the only mainstream party against vaccine passports from day one. And we pledged to restore confidence in the police, investing in frontline bobbies on the beat, to take a stand against London's criminals, not to take the knee. And we fought to defend our cultural heritage from the woke brigade, embracing our rich history and recognising that Londoners from all backgrounds can feel truly proud of our great city. But we can't rest on our laurels. We've given ourselves a platform, but it's what we do next that really matters. As with the party more widely, we're recruiting, interviewing and training parliamentary candidates for the next general election. We also have council elections next year, every seat in every ward in every London borough. That's around 1,800 seats in total. We've got a great story to tell and a great opportunity to tell it. Across London, Conservative, Labour and Lib Dem councils doing a terrible job. With the right candidates in the right wards, we're going to hold them to account. As a national party, you've seen we're gaining real traction now. We're polling higher than at any time since we became Reform UK. We're getting more and better media coverage. But our opponents will start to smear us. They will say we can't win, either nationally or in London, but they're wrong. Remember, more people in London in 2016 voted Leave than voted for Sadiq Khan. Yes, London is a city with a lot of woke Remainers in it, but that does not make it a woke Remain city. The argument is there for the making. The votes are there for the taking. In London, in Manchester, and right across this great and glorious country, let's fight for our freedom and let's deliver our future. Thank you.